Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of QuickMail.io.
Hey, this is Jack, Chief Lead Generation Officer of salesbread.com. Today we've got rapid fire.
That's right. Hey, do
So
your pitch, Jack.
today, most B2B companies lack the time and expertise to generate leads from cold prospects. At salesbread.com, we bring you one lead or more appointment or lead per day using ultra personalized cold emails and LinkedIn messages. Go to salesbread.com/contact, get in touch. I'll show you what's working with outbound. I'll give you some tips and tricks to try out. Say hi.
Great. Awesome one. I think at some point we should switch. I should do your pitch, you should do mine. But at the end of the day, mine is very quick and dirty. If you're looking for cold outreach, just use QuickMail. Job done. It's one of the best tools around. You know, just give it a go.
And the auto warmer. Don't forget the auto warmer.
Is great for deliverability. So if you want deliverability, just turn on the auto warmer.
It works. Okay, so this is rapid fire.
Don't give it away. There is a question about this, I think.
Yes, with that, we will dive in rapidly. Here we go. Number one.
Hold on, I need to share my screen to get it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're going too fast today, but it's
elevator
rapid fire.
Music.
Right.
Here
we go. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Question one.
Should we? Oh God. Let's go. Should we fear mistakes in cold outreach? Jeremy, kick us off.
No, of course not. And I think a lot of people are crippled by, the fear of making mistakes, which prevent them from, quickly iterating, quickly testing. And the best thing, I actually love and crave on, mistakes being done. Like, I can give you plenty of examples, but a really recent one, a mistake's been made, and that was like a great conversation starter. You go on a call and then you just like mention it like casually or like just laughing, and it makes you more human. And I think it's great because people expect now some sort of automation. So now I think it's a good one.
So for me, I'm going to say sort of, because too much mistakes will make you look sloppy and it'll hurt your reply rate, hurt your close rate. But a little, like you said, does make you look human. At the end of the day, you don't want perfection to hold you back from actually starting cold outreach effort. All right, number two, what to do if you've been burned by a lead generation agency. So I've got 3 suggestions for you. They're hard, easy, and medium. Let's start with the hard one. If you've been burned before, do outbound yourself until you know that it works, until you arrive at a process that works, and then you find someone in-house, train them to do what works. That's the hard way, because you got to hire and train and, figure out outbound strategy until you crack it. Now, the easy way is talk to other founders or marketers, salespeople that you know, ask them what agency they've used with good success and go with them. Or like somebody did a couple of weeks ago, go on Twitter, say, hey, what lead generation agency do you guys recommend? And shout out to Harry at Lower Street. Thanks for recommending me on Twitter. So that's the easy way. And then finally, medium, interview other agencies, ask for case studies, testimonials, and yes, phone numbers to similar and current clients so that you can do a better job vetting that agency.
Love it. I will just add, do me a favor and don't go for any agency that don't disclose their process and tell you it's a secret sauce.
Well said. Good add on there. Okay, next question. What's a lesser known way to build a list? Well, I will give you one that I tried out this week. I needed to find a certain kind of company, but the list was running dry in the common avenues. So we went to certain LinkedIn groups where these founders were likely to be hanging out, extracted all of those founders that were within the right geos and company sizes and yes, industry, even though I'm famous for bashing LinkedIn's industry filter, but you need to narrow it down somehow because there's a lot of folks in those groups, exported them, find emails, and then manually vetted each one. And it works. So if you can't find them through the regular methods, they may be hanging out in the LinkedIn group. You got one for us, Jeremy?
Love it. Yes. I would say use your existing visitors So it's still sort of like cold in a sense that they never heard you speaking to them, but at least they know your brand. So some tools, I think it's Leadberry or some stuff like that, they let you know what type of
Yeah,
company
smart.
came and sniff out your website. So I would say, just do your due diligence, see in this company who could be a potential fit, and just go and contact them, because chances are they may be interested in a topic if they're visiting your website.
Brilliant.
Oops,
Next
next.
question. What's the one tool you can't live without for prospecting? Now, I don't necessarily want to say that LinkedIn is the pharaoh of prospecting, but to be honest, Jeremy, I cannot do personnel prospecting without Sales Navigator 90% of the time. I would not want to lose Sales Nav because it's the best place to go once you have your account list already set up for finding people actively in the positions that you're prospecting for. I think they've done a very good job in that regard.
Great. For me, I don't do a lot of prospecting, but when I do, I like to use Headless Chrome and Puppeteer just to
Interesting.
basically automate scraping. That's what I love doing. But hey, I'm a developer, so what do you expect?
And if you're not a developer, check out import.io or data-miner.io, and you can kind of do the same thing without knowing code. Okay,
Love it.
moving on. I've seen this
Hey,
question
damn!
before.
It's a
Moving on.
trick. It's just to check if you're following, Jack.
All right.
Obviously,
Hey,
it's a
what
mistake.
makes
Hey, should
someone
you fear mistakes? No. Next slide.
Does this feel like episode 2 it doesn't feel like we've done over 200 of these. Hey, what makes someone good in cold outreach? I've got one simple answer here, and it's a plug. If you watch the cold email masterclass that Jeremy and I put together, it will make you good in cold outreach. Why? Because it covers the gauntlet from sales research to prospecting a hot list, not just the weak prospects that you've been scrapping together, and writing a message that will make somebody reply, and even automating that whole process and reply handling so that those leads don't fall through the cracks. It's basically everything to become good at cold outreach. What did I leave out?
Just a quick question for you is like, do you think knowledge is effectively what makes someone good in cold outreach?
That's probably half of it, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I think if you're good at cold outreach, you are a marathon runner. You get up every day and you execute your you add your rows of personalization, you queue it up in the tool, they get sent out, leads come in, you're following up on the leads and following up on the sale. It's the motion, the repetitive consistency in outreach that makes you good.
Love
But
it.
you got to
So
have the
it's
knowledge in first.
course.quickmail.io. All right. Next question.
Oh yeah. How do I quickly validate cold email as a growth channel? Jeremy, can you kick this one off?
Yeah, isn't that like mouse and whisker, which basically, to just remind everyone, is just basically the ability to send an email disguising yourself as a client, or making it like not very clear if you're a client or someone who, trying to sell
Hey,
anything.
can
And
you
so,
send me pricing? Yeah.
yeah, a good one. Or like, do you guys do, retirements in your service, or some other stuff like, and they do. So that could be one thing. The other thing I would say is like, pay attention to their websites, and then see if they are predominantly putting things like, how to contact us in a contact form, or if they're actually forwarding people more to their Facebook page or to their phone call, a
Yeah.
phone number, or to, other type of
So,
contact
that's
methods.
just going to tell you if your market is using email actively, if they're going to
Right.
reply to certain messages, right? Now, I've got a different answer here, and this is like, right, can you actually make sales with cold email? If so, how do you quickly validate that? And my recommendation here, do this all manually.
Yeah.
It will take a lot of time, but you need to send 200 emails yourself, typing at your keyboard. Don't use a tool for this. You're just validating. If you type it one by one, they're going to be very personalized, and you need to follow up 3 times. So one message, 2 messages, 3 messages in
And
total.
And if you do, you'd be grateful to then move to quick mail that automates
Yeah,
that.
no kidding. But once you do that, you have to stop prospecting. If you make a sale from it, it works. Mind you, the first go round is going to be bad. So even if you made one sale, that's validation in my book, because chances are you're going to do far better in version 2. But that's how you quickly validate cold email.
Love it.
When is a high volume campaign a good idea?
Is it? Is it ever a good
Never.
idea?
Next question. No, there's one scenario, and it's if you're racing a competitor to market, you've both, or there's a lot of competition with the same-ish new thing, and you're racing to establish your company quickest, and you've got a really limited runway. Like, you don't care if this thing crashes and fails after 6 weeks, but you've got 3 weeks right now to gobble up some market or investors or whatever. Then yeah, high volume, why not? The problem is it deteriorates very quickly, because you're going to end up in Google jail and end up in the spam folders and run out of prospects to go after, all that stuff.
Yes, I will add another case is when there is one particular signal that is short-lived. A good example is, for example, a conference. You may just obtain the list of like 10,000 people that goes on this conference. It's like next month, go in volume. I would say that's that's a good use case potentially.
Yeah, it's like if you've got a short-term play,
Yeah.
and you don't care about the repercussions, go ahead. Let's go next. Should I bother testing personalized videos in my cold emails? I'll take this one. If you're having a hard time getting replies and you have a great open rate, so I want to see like north of 60%
I
per
like
touch.
the caveat.
And you have a high ticket product service, do it, because it's pretty hard to ignore a genuinely personalized video that you include in email. Why? Well, your competitors are not doing it, and it makes sense in certain cases. The good news is, yes, it is a ton of time to do this kind of thing, but if you find out that it works, you can hand that off to, well, let's say a professional actor or actress who can step in and just do 50 of them a day. I can think of a number of people in that industry that would be happy to take some work, and you can effectively outsource that if it works. That's when I would do it.
Yeah, I would also do it at the beginning when you're trying to see if something works, like before you go automation kind of thing, like do things that don't scale, because like Jack mentioned, other people probably won't do it. And then it will help you to go to that place where you quickly learn about what works, what doesn't work. And one thing I would say is you're probably going to use Loom or some stuff like that for recording it. Make sure, in your email, there is a sort of like snippet of potentially you showing their own website, because people will be more likely to click if they see their own website, or like you're doing something on their own websites, or something around
So
those lines.
how would you set up that snippet? Would it be like an image of the video?
Yeah, usually, Loom does that. Like when you actually paste the link of Loom, it will grab like, the first frame, I think, of your video. So if you do that while you're looking at their website, to maybe because you're a consultant, or maybe you have to offer them like a better chat tool and then showing them what their chat tool is currently doing.
Yeah.
Those sort of things will actually be a good segue to, or a good way to use that feature.
Yeah, I know this is rapid fire, but I got to go one layer deeper. Are you saying if I just paste the Loom URL in my cold email, Gmail is going to generate the video script just like a YouTube link?
Yeah, that's right. It will just automatically use the name, the title, I think, of your video, and then put like a sort of like a preview snippet, which is basically just a simple gift.
I love that. That makes our life a lot easier. Okay, next question. How do you get around LinkedIn's 100 invites per week limitation? News, it is not 100 invites per week. So it can be no limit, but we're seeing a few cases where it's between 110 and 180 invites a week. So LinkedIn is actively trying to figure out the golden ratio and who to apply this to, because not every user gets this limitation, at least right now. Let's see. But I do have some ways around this limitation that I can share. Number one, there's a prospects right now that have profiles that are open in-mail profiles. That means you can send them unlimited in-mails and it doesn't count towards your monthly quota. So use that. Next, if you belong to groups where your prospects are in, and I suggest that you join lots of groups where your prospects are. Why? Because you can send group members, I think it's something like 800 group cold messages a month. This alone can basically take care of that limitation. You can use traditional email. You can use, hey, cold email. You can, and these are like probably the best two. You can improve your invitation acceptance rate by writing better copy and to sending it to people that are more likely to accept you. So think second degree network, think even if they're third degree and you have a small network, you can see how many followers they have, which is an indication of how many times they've said yes to people. So I sort that inversely, starting with people with thousands of followers because they've done it before. They've accepted people, even third degree, but they've posted recently tells you they're an active LinkedIn user. We'll talk way more about this, but that's it for me.
Yeah, well, as for me, I hate LinkedIn. I'm gonna start my own revolution and migrate every LinkedIn user to a new product that I'm gonna build. But that will be the topic for another day.
Okay. What's the easiest way to go about personalization? Simple. Go to a website's about page, read what that person wrote about themselves, and say something in your email intro sentence. If they don't have an about page, go to LinkedIn, which Jeremy loves, and in their about section, see if they've included something that they're passionate about, either with work or a hobby, or and by the way, 90% of the time, the best snippet is at the bottom of the about page. They'll be all professional in the beginning, and at the bottom,
Hey, we
Sam
love
also
dogs.
enjoys wakeboarding and puppies. And right. So, what about you, Jeremy? Can you
I
add to
think I
that?
have an easier way, which is when you're going to do your prospecting, just include the personalization in your prospecting. So for example, you're gonna find people, in San Francisco that do surfing, that do whatever, and then just add it into your personalization. And a good example, I think at the beginning where we were thinking about like doing gift personalization, like image personalization, it was like a simple example is like out of all your 1,000 prospect or 10,000 prospect, find everyone who is called John or Jack, and then just go full in and just do one picture with John and Jack, and then you can test if it works or if it doesn't work, before going ahead and then building your own
That
software.
might be the easiest way to go about personalization.
There you go.
Not bad. Next and last question. Should I use an auto warmer inbox software? I'm not even going to touch this question, Jeremy. Go for it.
Why not? Okay, yes, it works. As simple as that. It's like, yes, it works. You should just try to avoid all those sort of, some tools may actually be not that efficient as other ones. So go for the big ones, and I think it's fine. It does work. For how long? No one knows. But right now, it does work. One thing I would say as well is like most people think they should use the auto warmer at the very beginning. Like, hey, I got a new inbox. I'm going to auto warm it, and then I'm going to transition to cold outreach. This is wrong thinking. What it should be is I'm going to keep on using the auto warmer even when I'm cold outreach. So at least I always got some engagement for sure. And I think that's the right way of using the auto warmer.
It's a great idea. Great idea. And the quick mail auto warmer is completely completamente gratis. So
use it.
Why would you not? It works. Why would you not? How could you not? Okay, so that concludes the rapid fire. Bing, 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 bing. Thanks for listening / watching.
I don't have a gun.
Check out course. We'll talk about that next episode. And check out course.quickmail.io if you want even more goods on lead generating outbound campaigns. It's got the library full of stuff that you haven't tested out and probably will be glad you did once you take a look at it. So course.quickmail.io, there's a nice little trial period where you can take it for a test drive. So head over there today, check it out, make yourself a better outbounder.
Yeah, and in fact, I think we're just going to close this podcast and then shoot a personalization walkthrough for the course. So
That's right. You're gonna look over my shoulder. I'll teach Jeremy my latest tricks for
All
adding this
right.
personalization. You can check it out in the course.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks,
See
Jack.
you then.
Great cast.
Thanks, Jeremy.